First off, you know what you're smoking. Let's just get that straight.
Say it again.
3,
Do you know what you're smoking?
2, 1.
Oh, I know it's bossed up. The Boulevard, you know what I mean? All I know is it's bossed up. This is Cigar Talk, right? And you are an actual cigar aficionado, right? This is your thing here.
You see the case.
You got the case there, the blow torches.
You see the lighter.
You know what I mean? So before we even get into everything, how did you what was the moment where you were like, cigars is my thing? Like, I'm a cigar guy now. What was that moment like?
It happened to me in a funny way because I used to weigh 320 pounds. So people talk about addictions. I had an addiction to food. So I would sit down in one meal and eat 20-piece big nugget, a double quarter pounder with cheese, a fish fillet, French fries, hot fudge sundae with nuts. That's one meal.
It's one meal, all right.
So I had an addiction to food. You know, forget Thanksgiving.
Right.
You know, I'll be unconscious after 8. You know what I mean? Forget any holiday. Your fried foods. You know, caffeine, all those things. And I realized I had an addiction to food, and I couldn't. And it got to the point where it started to bother me health-wise. And so I, you know, changed everything, eating habits, and lost the weight, but the physical addiction of hand to mouth still came. You know what I mean? So I used to smoke cigars just to celebrate. But then I started to acquire the tastes and the actual what the leaves were wrapped in, and I had the Cohiba Bahique, and my mind got lost on that. And my guy owns a shop called Hispaniola, and he started to teach me about the seeds.
Is that uptown?
No, it's actual in Jersey.
Oh, Jersey.
And he made owns cigars, and I'll tell you, I'm in the process of making a cigar right now, based up. So really, a lot of it. My passion, my addiction turned into a passion for cigars and for traveling around the world and seeing what the world is smoking on.
Absolutely, man. Well, speaking of traveling, I know you were in LA recently. You guys just wrapped up the Freestyle 50 challenge. I saw that was Yo Snoop won the challenge. How was that the second time around? This was the second time you did it. What do you feel was, I guess, the difference between the first one and this past one that you just did?
First one, we had 20,000 entries and 11,000 who actually did it the right way and qualified, and we only could pick 8. This time, we had 80,000 entries, 30,000 of them did it right. And we chose 9 people. And I felt like when the launch I had, Busta and Tee Grizzley come to start the launch, and then in LA the finale, I had T come by, Shy Glizzy come by, I had Redman, classic MC, come by and bless us, and it was a special moment because it all led up to the last battle, and you let one guy go, stop, and you let the other guy go, stop. But the DJ do a beat on. And every 4th bar, they were jumping in at each other.
Going back and forth, going in.
It was, I really felt like it was a moment for hip hop because it truly what I wanted. I said, don't leave right here. Leave it all on the field right here. This is nothing. So it's just a blessing that our culture participates in things that they're passionate about. And really, honestly, hopefully, I'm going to help him, change his life, through the #Freestyle Challenge.
I think. Well, you mentioned Tee Grizzley. I know he was a main feature or component just performance-wise, and since you signed him, this dude is out of here. Like, first of all, when I first heard the First Day Out record, I'm just like, yo.
You didn't know what that was, because I didn't know what that was.
You know what? No,
I lost my mind. I didn't know what the fuck I was listening to.
That's what I want to know. How did you, because this is a real street record, right? Like, when I hear him talk, it's like only somebody who's been through this can say the words that he's saying and go through, so you feel it. There's a tangible feeling that comes with it. When you first heard that, how, I guess, necessarily did you take to it? Like, was it something like, when you discovered it, you immediately knew, like, oh shit, like, this is something special?
I had a guy, he runs the A&R department, his name's Salim. Salim burst into the office and said, yo, I gotta go to Detroit. I said, well, you know somebody in Detroit? He said, no, listen to this. I said, why are you still here?
Right.
So he actually flew to Detroit that same day,
Mm-hmm.
and spent time with them, and told them the importance of, and put me on, FaceTime, and we talked about it. When you hear a record like that, I wasn't worried. It wasn't about radio, it wasn't about streaming, wasn't about anything.
Yeah.
It made me feel a certain way. And when I hear records like that, I don't care where they work.
Right.
I gotta work the record. I gotta get it into the building and work on the artist, because I believe when you tell the truth, you go places.
Right.
I'm not saying you're gonna make a lot of money. I'm not saying you're not gonna make a lot of money. But when you tell the truth, you go places. And then you got. He's one of the rappers right now that every rapper's rapper and every athlete
right.
is loving, because he's coming from the truth.
Yo, and that brings me to my next thing, man. And so LeBron James, right? Like, we all know LeBron is a GOAT in his own right, in the game of basketball, but he's sort of stepping in, taking a new role, just culturally pushing the culture forward, where he's, posting new records and new artists, and I like to call him A&R LeBron, right? Like, that's A&R LeBron now, and I think that's so interesting. And for him to kind of post Tee Grizzley, like, there's 1 million people watching this at any given time. That's the equivalent of being TV or radio. How do you, I guess, see or take to just the space that LeBron is being able to occupy culturally as, an unofficial A&R, just to bring that much vision to a specific record?
I don't, again, LeBron's a friend. I look at, when you have a lot of success, there's a lot of responsibility. And with all the access that we have, you still need travel agents. A long time ago, I used to call them cool kids.
Right.
LeBron's the cool kid on the playground with the new sneakers, with the new music, with the new technology, and that's not his job is basketball.
Yeah.
But his responsibility as a successful African American is to inspire and empower other people through his means.
Absolutely.
It's what I feel he does every single day. No, I'm going to win, but I'm also going to take you with me. And I'll tell you how I got there and what inspired me and what I'm loving today and where I'm at and who I'm meeting. It's just part of him having his own network. So I applaud him for stepping out and promoting things that he loves. Yeah. And so to me, it was a moment in time. But then the day after, Hov came out.
And just, that was like, yo, Grizzly.
Then you knew. Listen, and he hit me. T was like, yo, did you see what just happened? And Jay and my friends, I never called them on it. I don't really do that. I like the organic thing. And what he, I didn't even know what to say, because I ain't seen this in a long time. Where it's two goats, what I mean?
Right, 100%.
Will come out to the pasture and give somebody a blessing.
Yeah. Being at the forefront of hip hop and entrepreneurship, stepping out from the major label, like we know, you were the CEO of Def Jam, and you guys, I always like to refer to you guys as the Justice League, like you and Lior and Julie Greenwald and Kaiser and all of these guys. Like we know you guys as that, and you guys were able to step aside from that and create this entity 300. And there are a lot of acts that you signed that are just kind of exploded under your wing. And somebody in particular like Young Thug, when we look at him and everything that he's been able to do kind of creatively, it's different. And I just want to know, I guess, maybe your perspective on how you're able to kind of take to the differences in his creativity from, his Wyclef Jean video. That was like, an amazing clip. I think you won a VMA for that, I believe.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Right, won a VMA for that. And just, I just want to hear about, your approach to being at the forefront of creativity in this day and age.
Man, you have to distinguish between what's an artist and what's art.
Right.
Thug is art.
Right.
Thug, you want to see him, you want to hear what he got to say. In a video you didn't see him.
Right. You didn't see him. Yeah, absolutely.
But the reality of it was, he's a conversation piece. He's a lightning rod. He's a talent. He's in the studio every day. He can't hold it in.
Right.
It's creativity to him. It's his brand. It's like, he'll tell you he has his own network. His network is Thugga Thugga.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, what if ESPN went off the air, CNN went off the air, CNBC go off the air?
Right.
People not going to tune back in. They're going to think, oh, it's crazy. It's off the air. So he can never go off the air.
Yeah.
So his creativity and his passion for what he does continues the conversation. And I always tell people, I don't think I find people I think we found each other. You know, I think it was meant. You can go anywhere else in the world. You can sign anybody you want to. For you to be with me, that's God. You know, and I gotta take seriously the commitment that you gave me and the dream that you have with me, and the team and our 300. And we all, everybody come up from different ways in the company, but we all understand art and the dream.
You know, there's so many different issues going on, and people of prominent positions like maybe Colin Kaepernick who speak out and face backlash, you know what I mean, and you know, kind of have made a sacrifice in speaking out. And somebody of your stature, how do you feel, you know, when you want to speak out on different issues, whether it be, you know, the girl in Chicago that was just unfortunately murdered, or you know, the police brutality that we face? How does that kind of come into play when you use your platform to kind of voice your?
Well, it's one of the reasons why I love being independent, because I pay me. I don't have to answer to any league or any governing body or anything, and I've been doing it too long not to be able to say what I mean and mean what I say. Right. So when you see a soldier like Colin do what he does, now, although you've seen a lot of other people kneel, they know they better chill out with that.
Absolutely.
They know, a lot of people kneel. So if you want, it's really just about him kneeling. You need to put everybody else, but they're not going to do that because they understand the backlash that they're getting. Muhammad Ali gave up his title for what he believed in. So I believe we have, again, success comes responsibility. I believe we have to be modern day disciples of what's good for our culture. And by being a disciple, sometimes you have to take 10 steps back in order to lead 100 people forward. And I think it's our responsibility. So I'm always going to speak out. I'm always going to pray for things. And some people say, well, Kev, you don't speak out on everything because nobody can do everything. You know what I mean? I have to speak out on issues that I could directly affect and do things with. And this is why I constantly have relationships with state's attorneys, U.S. attorney, you know, relationships, because I know we have to do something about our social injustice system. And I'm at a point in my career that the conversation I can have won't just go unnoted.
Like you said, like Obama was the embodiment of hip hop at the highest level, right? And now we're in a, you know, a Trump era where, you know, it's not the same, and there's a disconnect between, you know, our culture and, you know, what we feel we need and want, and, you know, the agenda's regime. How, I guess, do we and somebody at the forefront of the culture kind of present, you know, our initiatives, you know, to the commander-in-chief, just, you know, as, you know, like Obama had rappers coming to the White House and we're all speaking on these things, and how, just, I guess, in this day and age and this time, do you feel we're able to do something to kind of evoke some change?
You know, I say to people that say that the Trump stuff, what do you think George Washington was saying about black people? You know what I mean? What do you can go through the president, you know, before Obama. Let's not act like there was not a pre-Obama.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, our founding fathers and our other presidents, and even I respect the position. I might not agree with it, but I've been here before. This ain't, Trump ain't say, you know, he's social media magnate, he's doing everything that he won in a way that was, he encouraged a culture of people to come to the forefront, like Barack encouraged culture people to come to the forefront. So I can agree and disagree with the commander-in-chief. I can be loud about it. There's things that I think he should do differently, but at the end of the day, it's the commander-in-chief, and unless we want to have a war, a civil war, you know, on that, I just don't think that's nobody needs war, you know. So what I think we need is understanding. I think we need love. I think we need communication. I ain't been to the White House. I have no reason to go to the White House.
Would you go now if invited?
No, I can't go. He got to come to the Black House. He got to talk to me.
Absolutely.
He got to. No reason. I totally think that the way he was elected is not the way he should reside as the president of the United States. But, you know, again, who am I to tell him? But he'll have to see me.
For you to go from an intern to the CEO of a company, that's the epitome of the American dream, right? Like starting at the bottom and working your way to the highest level that you can possibly be at. I just want to know, what was your mentality like kind of going into it as an intern, right? Like when you first started and you're fresh, right? Like first day, was your mind frame like, yo, you know what? I want to be the CEO of this company one day? Or was it just like, I'm taking it a day at a time? Just Kev Liles as an intern. What was that?
Well, see, I wasn't a 16-year-old intern or 18-year-old intern. I actually spent 5 years in electrical engineering school at Morgan State. I actually ran managed a telemarketing firm called World Connections Travel. I actually traveled the world as an artist.
Right, absolutely.
So other people call it interning. I call it education. I got my bachelor's degree from Def Jam. To me, I got to give you more than what you asked for. And so I never looked at it, you know, artists come into my market, I can't tell them I can't get into the best restaurant. I can't tell them I can't go hang out on the corner where everybody's at. I can't tell them I can't get them the VIP section at the club. I can't tell them that they can't get the key to the city. I just never, it was always on steroids, you know what I mean? So internship was on steroids. Promotion manager was on steroids. General manager on steroids. And it became a time where I didn't ask to be the president. Never you know, people say, oh, your vision board, you should. No, I wanted to be the best at whatever they needed me to be. Then the next key was to figure out what they like to do and help them do that, and what they didn't like to do. And in '96, when they asked me the first time, I wasn't ready. I didn't feel I knew the world. I wasn't ready for it. So I wanted to take some time out, travel the world, spend some time on the West Coast, learn the business of music, not just be in the music business. And in '98, you know, I became the president and CEO.
We know, like, even seeing like the backstage documentaries and the Def Jam, like the Def Jam jacket was a thing. Like that was, if you had a Def Jam jacket, you are the man. Like we see you with the Def Jam Letterman, and I read somewhere that, you know, Russell gave you his Def Jam jacket, like, you know, off his back, like, you know, hey Kev, this is yours. Was that, I guess, the moment that, like, when did you kind of know, like, hey, you know what, like, I'm the best at what I'm doing? And
I never look at it like that. I'm just one of those guys that do the work. Do I recognize the flowers and the roses that come with it and the accolades? Yeah, I know they're there, but when your mission is so much greater than one thing, it's just part of the journey. This point in my life, I knew I was a man, because even when I was president and CEO, I did what I did as an intern.
You speak highly about value proposition. That's one of the things I like that you say, is just being able to identify, you know, your value and how do you bring value to a situation. How does an artist or a person at this juncture bring value to somebody of your prominence, right? Like you know, you have a lot of things, you have a lot of resources, a lot of network, and how do you feel someone is able to bring value to Kevin Liles today?
I think it's, number one, tell your truth. Number two, be willing to work as hard as the company's going to work for you. And number three, don't limit yourself. The barrier of entry into our business is so low right now. You and I can go right over there right now and make an album. We could put it up on Spotify. So please, so don't tell me that you're not out there doing that. I'm not gonna make you, brother. You got to start. The barrier is low now. So now that it's low, you got to do your own thing. You got to go out there and start and figure out your network. How you going to build your fan base? How you going to do this? And what we do is help you enhance that. We empower that. We don't make you. I hate when executives talk about, we made this and I did this. I did. No, we empower. You're the spark, but you got to start the spark. Because we're the fan to the fire. We're the fuel. I'm gonna pour gasoline on it. And so to me, if you talking about, oh, can you do this? Can you do that? Oh, I need you, and you're not doing enough for yourself. Because that's the first thing I do. I look, when somebody send me something, I say, what you doing? I'm looking like, okay, cool. Your social game ain't up, homeboy. Your fan base ain't there. I don't know. I'm not gonna be able to make that. And what are you gonna do to help us get there.
So I saw a picture of you guys in the Hamptons recently. All the OGs back together again. It was, I think, you, Lior, Russell, and, and Irv.
Yeah.
Does it feel the same still? Like, kind of, because you guys have so much history together, and you guys have built this, this culture, up to where it is, and, just working together with somebody 20 years later, 20, 30 years later, does it still feel the same? Like, when you guys get together, is that dynamic feel the same?
It feels like day one to me. It'll never feel different, because I can give a certain look and everybody know what I'm feeling.
Right.
I can make a certain move and everybody knows where I'm moving.
Right.
So that's the greatest enjoyment. Just imagine if, in the sport of basketball, Jordan can continue to play with those people 30 years.
Right. Man.
Yeah. Wow. I know what they like, what they don't like. They know what I like or don't, and we encourage more discovery. We encourage more, belief in there is something new to learn. And I have 4 kids. Russell has kids, Lyra has kids. Irv has kids, and just us being together at the moment. Did I realize it was a moment? Of course it was a moment.
Right.
But did I look at it, the OGs were together? No, I looked like, what up?
It's my homie. Right.
Are we good? Yeah, everybody come over.
Right.
And did it change from us being in a little office on Elizabeth Street to being in Hamptons?
Right. Is legacy important to you?
Legacy, the answer is yes. But I don't believe your legacy comes through saying his legacy is important to you. I believe it comes in you doing the work.
Absolutely.
So at the end of the day, I don't know, when Bob sold BT for $1 billion, I think there was a moment in time. I don't think he said early on, I'm gonna sell it for $1 billion.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's and his legacy as being one of the first African American billionaires. I just don't know if I can put numbers on it or places on it, but my heart is in the right place.
Say, can I take some time and vent? I was struggling, now I got different struggles. Now that I'm getting rich, ain't that a shame? How rugged this shit get? Big to see a nigga with a stack of something and they beg to suck a nigga dick. Been through the rain. You will watch a nigga get soaked. That's your brother nigga say you love a nigga. How you watch a nigga stay broke? Same way I came. I ain't changing up on my bro. Knew a nigga that I called brother talking to them other niggas breaking code. Niggas be lame.